You have to achieve failure. You have to take it that far. Nobody wants to go that far. It's too scary. But you know something? I got news for you. That's where winning is.
Training hard is not easy. I mean, it says it right there in the name. It's hard.
It's hard. It's hard. People don't want what's hard. They want what's easy.
But training intensity is also probably the biggest factor separating people that get results in the gym and people that just waste their time. And I really do think that going to the gym and not training hard is a waste of time. You can have your programming, diet, and everything else perfect, but if you don't train hard, you're not going to get any results. If you're seriously interested in changing the shape of your body, you will have to do uncomfortable and difficult things. It's as simple as that. Your body does not want to change. It's perfectly happy the way it is. The only way to force your body to change is to expose it to a stimulus which is powerful enough to leave your body no choice but to adapt. Alright, so how do we actually make sure we're training hard enough? Well, I'm sure you've all heard of RPE or RIR. These are basically just ways to measure how much you're leaving in the tank on each individual set. They are extremely useful, but unfortunately from what I've seen, beginners have a very hard time using them accurately, as they don't actually have enough experience to judge how close they are to failure. Many people think they are training close to failure, but in reality they are just training to the point where it starts to get challenging. Stopping a set when it gets hard is very different from stopping a set when you are physically unable to do another rep. You will get better at judging how many reps you have left in the tank as you gain more experience. But in the meantime, here are 3 things to look out for to make sure you are training hard enough from the very beginning. The first one is your rep speed. How quickly are you performing each rep of the set? Filming your sets can be a big help with this, since you can actually count how long each rep takes when you review the video. But if you just pay attention to it during your sets, you should also be able to tell in real time. Basically, if your last rep moves just as fast as your first rep, you are most likely not training close to failure. If you're grinding out reps and really pushing yourself close to your limit, it's pretty much impossible that those reps are moving at the same speed as the very beginning of your set. So the next time you go to the gym, remember to pay attention to your rep speed. Are you just pumping out a bunch of quick reps, or are you forced to slow down when you get to the end of your sets? The second indicator to look at is your condition right after the set. Are you out of breath, or would you be able to have a relaxed conversation with your gym buddies immediately after your last rep? Let me shut up for a second and show you a couple clips of me finishing hard sets close to failure. As you can see, I'm usually out of breath after the set. And we're not just talking about really heavy movements like a leg press. Even after a set of curls, I would have to take a couple seconds to compose myself before I would be able to speak full sentences. Look, I'm not trying to say that you need to end each set on the floor hyperventilating in the fetal position. But if you just finished a heavy set and you're not even a little bit out of breath, I don't care how good your cardio is, there's just no way you tried that hard. Really, the only exception here is if you're isolating small muscles, like maybe calves or forearms. Alright, the third indicator to make sure you're actually training hard is failure. If you've literally never failed a rep before, it's very likely that you're not training hard enough. I guess this might be a bit controversial since I know a lot of people preach avoiding failure at all costs, and I'm certainly not here telling you to go do squats or deadlifts to failure. But on safe exercises, and especially certain isolation or machine exercises, occasionally going to failure is a perfectly reasonable way to train, in my opinion. And there's no better way to learn to judge how much you have left in the tank than actually going to failure. If you've never actually failed before, then how can you know for sure that you're close to failing? Again, guys, training to failure or even very close to it is not easy. It's easy to sit here and listen to me talk about it, but when you're in the gym and you have the weights in your hand, it's a different story. Your instincts will try to get you to stop a set when it gets hard. But if you want to get jacked, you have to push through that barrier and actually train close to the limits of your body. In general, I would recommend people to train no more than 1 or 2 reps away from failure. Perhaps 3 at most on your heaviest lifts like squats and deadlifts. If you have enough experience with an exercise and you feel like you can do it safely, then don't be afraid to go all the way to failure. You might surprise yourself. If it turns out you were leaving 5 reps or more in the tank on each set, then you know for sure you haven't been going hard enough. Alright, that's all for today's video. If you found it useful, please give me a thumbs up. Thanks for watching.